This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Entertainment Hour on this TGIF. What is it, June 14th already?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. We are going through the month.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, through the year, I should say. This, of course, is Entertainment Hour. We should have Chris coming back very soon. Of course, I'm joined with Dragon Viper. How are you this evening?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm not having a main host tonight, so it's all good.
You held it down really well.
How are you, James?
I'm good. I'm just dreading going back to work tomorrow. There's been a lot of drama already. My first full week there, and it just feels like, oh, maybe I should go somewhere else. It just feels, it's an unsettling feeling for sure. And yeah, we have Crispy Bacon here, the man behind the scenes. How are you this evening?
I'm good. All of a sudden, it just said we're going to have technical issues tonight.
I hear that.
Not too bad.
So cool. So let's get to our programs coming up. I know we'll have Oregon Cougar football tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We will have Press Row. That's gonna air as well. Is that Saturdays at 9? Yeah, Saturdays at 9. I'm guessing. Gonna have the Puck Row podcast on the 21st and 23rd on C2C. And then all the other shows we'll have on deck Sunday, hopefully, for you at 7 p.m. Pacifically. And then, was it Between the Ropes there on Sunday at 9 p.m. I heard there's, big happenings going on in the wrestling world from what I remember, I think.
Yeah.
What was it? Bro Code, I think, on Monday, and then you got Rankum on Tuesday, Sports Minute Wednesday. Kicking It was back yesterday on Thursday. That was a lot of fun.
C2C at night on Tuesday.
I almost forgot about that because we haven't done it in a while. Yeah, thank you. C2C at night on Tuesday, giving you the best of the sports world. With Callan, of course. And again, you can check out his Press Row coming up soon. But this is Entertainment Hour, and we have some news that came up. I think it came up today or yesterday about country singer Alan Jackson. He's 65 years old. He's going to be on his last tour as he's retiring because of a medical condition. And for more of that, let's kick it over to Dragon Viper.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what you said. He's retiring at 65. I would have loved to see him in concert at least once, but I guess I don't get to do that now. He's going on tour for 10 different concerts, so he won't even, it's probably going to be major cities, and that's it. Across the U.S. from August 24th of this year to May 25th of next year. He's got I don't want to say disease, but his health is bad. He's got a neurological condition called, and I'm going to mess this up because I don't know how to really pronounce it, but Charcot-Marie Tooth disease. Which surprisingly with the name has nothing to do with the mouth. And I actually wrote down some of the symptoms. I mean, weakness in the legs, ankles, and feet. He's going to lose a lot of his muscle in his legs and feet. I mean, he's not going to be able to really run or even walk at a certain point. He's going to frequently trip and fall. And he's going to have decreased sensation or loss of feeling in his legs and feet. So, depending on how progressive this gets, he may end up in a wheelchair within the next 5 years, 10, maybe 10 years, but maybe 5, I'm guessing. It just depends on how progressive it gets and how fast it does progress. So, it sucks hearing that. I mean, I really like Alan Jackson. I listened to him a lot in the 90s. With his country music, I mean, Midnight and Montgomery, and I mean, Chattahoochee, and list goes on and on. But I it sucks to hear he's retiring, but I hope he continues to live on for even longer, even if it's in a wheelchair. So.
Sorry, I'm reading here the final shows will be played from August to May, so this summer coming up. Boston, Grand Rapids, Fayetteville, Kansas City, Salt Lake City, Oklahoma City, Fort Worth, Orlando, Tampa, and Milwaukee.
Yep,
and the
like
tickets
I
are
said,
on
big
sale.
cities.
Yeah. Well, I guess big country cities, kind of.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Fort Worth is definitely country.
Oh, yeah.
No Nashville, though.
So
It's kind of weird.
I would love to see his concerts, but I don't live anywhere near them.
Me neither. I was reading more about the condition. It affects the hands and feet. It's not fatal, but it restricts mobility, and that he's been dealing with it pretty much since 21, 22. He just knows it keeps going and going. And being on tour like that for over 30 years as well, once, those things start to go, it's pretty hard to keep going. I only know him for a few songs, of course, but I know a lot of people love him and love his music, so they're going to do whatever they can to go. I didn't even realize he was 65. That's the first thing I kind of noticed from all that. A lot of people we grew up listening to or knowing are older than us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were in the late 20s, early 30s when somebody like me who was born in 84, was probably 10, 11 years old at the time when they're in their 30s. So yeah, I get it.
It's a scary feeling, man.
It is.
Chris, you have anything on this?
No, like you guys said, I wouldn't say weird, but it's been, I guess, weird that a lot of singers, performers that are not necessarily older, but are dealing with health concerns. And I know back then it wasn't, publicized too much. Celebrities didn't come out and go, "Hey, I have this condition, this health problem." They just kind of, fade out of the limelight. And, a lot of people didn't really know, why they did that until years later. Now I think it's becoming well known in a way where a lot of celebrities are coming out with, different conditions of why they're stepping away.
Yeah, that's true. All right, one segment that I truly love and hate that I forget is celebrity birthdays. And since it's June 14th, I am dying to know what they are and if I know who they are. So more on that, of course, would be Dragon Viper, and I'm dying to know who they are.
And before I do that, I do want to read the comments real quick. Jean Carlson, my mom, says hi to everybody, and then she mentioned that she saw Alan Jackson at the Oregon Jamboree, which they have every year in Sweet Home, Oregon.
Wow.
But she did see, and what it is pretty much a 3-day concert full of famous country singers. So, but yeah, she saw him in 2003, and he was great. So I just had to bring that up. Anyway, so to birthdays, I didn't have many that were today because of the fact that I hardly knew any of them. I wrote down a few for tomorrow too.
Good. Hopefully we do a whole week of them and you can tell us.
Well, and just because Big B just is sitting there saying that I'm stealing his ideas, again, not stealing his
No.
ideas. He ranks them. We just mention what they are.
That's it. Exactly.
Anyway, so today we have Yasmin Bleeth. Whoever watched Baywatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever watched Baywatch in the 90s, would know who Yasmin Bleeth was.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
But she turns 56 today.
Goodness gracious. Everybody's turning 56.
And then Boy George.
Whoa, 65?
63.
Oh,
You're making him older than what he is.
damn. Because he looks like it, that's why.
But yeah, 63 today. NFL Giants player Jalen Smith.
I have no idea who that is.
He used to be a cowboy.
Smith. Huh?
He used to be a cowboy.
Yeah. But he's a Giants now.
27?
Yeah, 29.
I ain't making him younger.
Probably wants that.
And then the last one I had for today before we go tomorrow is Will Patton, who was whoever watched Remember the Titans.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But he turned 70 today.
Goodness.
And we talked about ages with Alan Jackson, so
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies too, is Remember the Titans.
So, and then tomorrow I have Ice Cube.
65?
Good job. 55.
55. Oh, I got it wrong. No, I said 65.
Oh, I thought you said 55. And then Courtney Cox.
That's 57.
Nope, but close. 60.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa.
60 years old. I remember going through school and lying to people in class, in my grade, saying that I was related to her, a long lost cousin, just because of my last name.
Wow.
And then we have Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, that's got to be 49.
Close, 51.
Well, Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then of course I had to throw a WWE wrestler in there.
Now this one I won't know. I guarantee
Bailey.
Maybe.
Bailey's turning. Yeah, Bailey's turning 35 tomorrow. And then I have Leah Remini from Kings and Queens. And
I love her. She's
Leah Remini?
She's probably like 50, 54.
Correct.
Got it.
You're right. 54 years old.
You know what's crazy about her and that show, King of Queens, is like, I didn't grow up watching it. I just figured it was so annoying, like Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah. But now I could kind of relate to it now. So I start to watch it whenever I possibly can, and it's kind of relatable now. But beforehand, I thought it was very annoying.
Well, the thing is I've never watched it too, but I've seen enough commercials to know who was in it. So
yeah.
And then,
but I think Kevin James is so. I think he's lame in a way.
Depends on the movie.
Yeah. Mall Cop.
Yeah, more grown-ups I like him in, and
that's true. Because of the other people around him, not because of him, though.
Well, that too. And then the last one I have is Helen Hunt.
Wow, she's got to be. I'm gonna say 58.
Close, 61.
Yeah, she looks it.
So those are the birthdays I have for today and tomorrow.
Wasn't she in Twister, I want to say?
Yes. Twister, Wings.
That's right.
Yeah, and then I can't remember where else, but those were the two main ones that I knew her from.
See, that's the funnest topic of them all. Because I love guessing ages, because to see what they look like too, and if plastic surgery ever hurt them or not. So I love that about that. All
Yeah.
right, we'll get to the boring stuff now. The topics of the day of the show. So the band, the Eagles, not the football team, announced their residency in Las Vegas at the Sphere, and I really want to go to that one day. The only issue is like you won't be really looking at the band; you'll be looking at the sky of the roof of the place. I know
We're
U2
thinking
opened
under
it up. Yeah, U2 opened it up, and most people were looking at the roof. They weren't really paying attention to Bono and everyone. So I'd kind of be worried if I ever went there. But yeah, they'll be there from no, they'll be there 8 shows, 4 exclusive weekends from Friday, September 20th through October 19th. So that's a Saturday. The pre-sale is next week, June 18th. I know a few people love the Eagles, despite Glenn Fry passing away, and they're still a really good band. Like I mentioned, they'll perform some dates, 8 dates between September and October. I just wonder what the sky is going to be like. That's going to be something.
Right.
The LED display and all that. I know one thing too. Dead and Company, the tribute band to the Grateful Dead, were there, and they'll conclude a residency at the venue on June 22nd. That's one show I would want to go to. But I'm here. The Eagles started off in 1972. They got really big there, and that was really, really fun to see. But my question to you guys, if there was a Vegas residency for your favorite group, who would it be? Like how many times would you go to? Let's say you're coming from LA or Southern California like I am, and the group is going to be there for a month or two, and you'll go to every show. Who would you want to go see? For me, it would have to be Pearl Jam. I know they're on tour right now, and I've always wanted to see them or the Foo Fighters live. I think if there was a good mix of those two together, I would love to see them in Vegas. I know No Doubt was out there. I know Gwen Stefani, I think, was out there for a while.
Yeah.
That could
Britney
get kind of stale,
Spears,
though. Britney was out there. Celine Dion.
Garth
But
Brooks, Shania Twain.
oh, that's right. Shania was out there. I think she still lives out there.
I think
But
so.
yeah, maybe if one of these days, a favorite band of mine goes out there the same time the Raiders are out there, I'll definitely check it out. I'll start with you, Chris. If there's one band you would want to see, multiple times in Vegas at the Sphere, who would you want to go see? Who would that be?
Well, after getting over that fear of heights, which I'm not usually afraid of heights, but that would probably freak me out. Probably Journey.
That would be a good one to be there. One of my good friends, their wife told me about who the lead singer is. It's some I think Filipino karaoke singer, and I heard him like a month ago for the first time, in a concert. And I was like, wow, that's pretty close to Steve Perry. Dragon Viper, what about you? If you were going to multiple dates at the Sphere, what concert would you want to go see? Who would you want to go see?
You make this really hard on me. You do know that, right? Because there are a lot of bands I would watch multiple concerts with. I mean, you've got, Journey, you've got, AC/DC, you have the Eagles, you have, you have a lot of them that I would go and watch. And I mean, I wrote 2 down, and that would be Garth Brooks or Shania Twain. But I mean, there's a lot of bands that I actually wouldn't mind seeing multiple concerts of. But yeah, I wrote down Garth Brooks and Shania Twain, but I'm gonna go on and say Journey, if Metallica ever did something like that, because they're always over in Europe area. AC/DC, Def Leppard, and the list goes on. So I just can't pick one, and you made this difficult.
I tried to pick one, but blended into two. I would go see the two you first said, Garth Brooks and Shania Twain. I've been wanting to get more into them, like not just the hits or whatever, but the other songs. The what do you ever call them? I got to get into that more often. So next topic. Usually we talk about like the box office and what movies are coming out, but a lot of them are just dull. I have a friend who works at a movie theater. He's like, hey, I can get you in free if you want to go see something, but there's never ever anything I would want to see. Not even Despicable Me 4,
No.
Minions. They are set to, at an early look, they're set to rule the box office around July 4th with $100 million in a 5-day opening.
Why?
The kids still love them. I just can't believe there's 4 of them. So we got Inside Out 2, and it's potentially reaching 90 million this upcoming weekend. Quiet Place Day 1, which I forgot all about. That's north of 40 million. And then, the release of Despicable Me 4, it's going to have the momentum of that summer box office where a lot of people go out on 4th of July. You'll get the Wednesday openings, which are going to be crazy. A little history lesson. The last time Universal debuted a Despicable Me movie was on a Wednesday before July 4th, which part 2 came out in 2013. And that made a whopping $143 million over 5 days.
Yeah, I heard.
I cannot believe that happened. I was never a part of it, but I know a lot of people went to go see it.
I wasn't.
How dare you not be a part of
it? It went right over my head. I'm just thinking to myself, man, is it the high prices? Is it just people want to go see animation? Do people still love the Minions? And it's going on from generation to I guess it's going on from generation to generation. Like, what's the deal with that? I'll start with Dragon Viper.
Yeah, what was that? I'm sorry.
I was like, what's the deal with it, and how come a lot of people are still paying so much money to go see these movies?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, it's got to be the ticket prices and all the stuff that goes along with it, like the snacks and stuff, because I don't know. I'm 39 years old, and I'm more about the cartoon movies from the 90s and maybe the early 2000s, but I don't know. There are people that do like it out there. I mean, I'm my own person. I'm not into any of those kinds of things, but there are people out there that are. So I'm assuming it's a mix of a combination of high ticket prices as well as there are people that actually love that out there. So I'd have to go with both.
I know a couple of people who got the all the Minions gear from whether it's Universal Studios or whatever, Target or wherever they have all the paraphernalia of all that. Almost called you Dragon Viper. Chris,
yeah.
What would make you go watch have you seen all 3 Despicable Me movies, and are you going to see 4, and how much are you willing to pay?
I think I've seen 1 and 2, maybe a little bit of 3. I like it sometimes. It just depends on the mood, I think. But I'll catch it one day. I'm not in a hurry to see it. It's okay at times, but I think it's just like we talked about on kicking it with different foods and stuff. I think it's overrated a little bit.
Oh, overpriced too.
Or overpriced, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Next topic I have, it's also about movies, but it's about a certain role that was not to be, and I think we are thankful for that. Jude Law, you remember him in like, serious films and films that really don't deal with superheroes, right? So he turned down playing Superman after trying on the costume, and he said it felt like a step too far, in quotes. Um, that would just be a weird look too. When I think of Jude Law, I don't think of him as a superhero. I think of
No.
him in like a romantic movie, or a movie with no action. And he was going to play or portray the legendary Man of Steel. I thought it was kind of weird when Ben Affleck was Batman and Batman and Superman. I actually went to go see that with friends, and I thought, well, that's not a good look. So yeah, he mentioned did Law. So this is true, yeah, and there was a process of flirtation going on. Watch those words. And I always resisted because it felt like off. And I know you can say, well, you played Jan wrong and Dumbledore, but it felt like a step too far to play Superman. Anyway, guys, this reminded me. Oh yeah, one more thing. He said they brought me the suit. They thought this might change your mind. However, he didn't feel the suit. It didn't feel right, and he felt like it was more of a metallic suit, as we'll find out, I guess, in the movie. So it wasn't like the Christopher Reeve suit anymore. So things are changing, of course, and we don't want to see that.
No.
So I was thinking, guys, to myself a couple of days ago, trying to make this show look like something for me. But to me, I'm trying to think of myself, what was the worst actor playing a superhero that you could think of? The worst combination. And for me, I guess it was Ben Affleck playing Batman. And then also, one thing that didn't really go together, and we'll talk about him later in the show, was Tom Cruise playing The Last Samurai.
Did that happen?
Yeah, it was back in like 2004 or something.
Oh.
And it just did not make sense. What the like? He's not Asian or whatever, right? He's not Japanese. And then you had Brad Pitt as the Mexican.
Oh,
and that didn't make sense either because he's totally not Mexican. There's other ways too, but I don't want to get too far into it. But Dragon Viper, I wanted to ask you, was there ever somebody who played a superhero that just didn't look right in that costume, or they just didn't act it out right?
Oh yeah, I agreed with you about Batman and Ben Affleck. No. Absolutely not.
He dumbed it down.
And the thing is one of my favorite Batman movies is Batman Forever with Jim Carrey and
Michael Keaton,
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, with Val Kilmer. And a lot of people say that one was a terrible Batman movie, but I'm sorry. It was my favorite, but I know the worst one was Ben Affleck as Batman. It should not have happened. And he did. I think he made a terrible Batman, and he did not look good in a Batman suit. So, yeah, I'm going to agree with you.
Maybe if he was older, it might have looked better.
No.
There was another one where the guy was older, so it didn't look right on him, but I cannot remember what it was. And also, I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he put on the Turbo Man costume in Jingle All the Way. I love that movie too. And then when Sinbad put on the villain costume, that looked weird as well. That's a great movie. Everybody has to watch that during the holiday season. Crispy Bacon, what's one superhero that was portrayed by an actor or actress that just didn't look right to you?
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of superhero movies per se, but we'll go Ben Affleck. I mean, Batman's very iconic, and I know Superman is too. Probably most is Superman, but there's only going to be one Superman, depending on who you think that is. And I'm not not sure if it has Ben Affleck.
I got a question for Dragon Viper. Who was the worst James Bond?
The worst James Bond?
Yeah.
Good question. I'm trying to remember everybody that played James Bond.
I only know like Pierce Brosnan and then that like European dude. There's
I'd
like a
have to
few of
say
them.
Pierce Brosnan. I like Pierce. Well, a little bit. I like Pierce Brosnan, but I'd have to say Pierce Brosnan made the worst James Bond. Was it William Moore or Sir something more? I can't remember the guy's first name, but he did a really good one. But no, Pierce Brosnan actually did. I feel, in my opinion, was the worst one of them.
Yeah, that's the one I remember, and I don't really remember him doing any, action scenes or whatever. So that was kind of weird. This next topic, as we go into our viral debates topic, and this one, it always triggers a few people, and it was about this mother who was on TikTok, and she had 12 million views about this, and she shared a controversial opinion on why she doesn't return the grocery carts to the cart thinger. I don't know.
The cart return
thinger. Leslie Dobson explained why she doesn't, and it was kind of odd, the one that she was talking about. But in the video that has amassed nearly 12 million views, probably has done it already. This was on May 30th. She says, quote, "I'm not returning my shopping cart, and you can judge me all you want. I'm not getting my groceries into my car, but getting my children into the car and then leaving them in the car to go return the cart. So if you're going to give me a dirty look, quote, F off."
Wow.
And this is, of course, sparked a debate about leaving your kids in the car and, abductions happen or whatnot. It depends where in California you are, mostly everywhere. She's a California-based clinical and forensic psychologist, so maybe she is really aware of her surroundings and warning others about how unaware people are around her surroundings. She did mention as well, quote, "I wanted to make the video to empower people to say, trust your instinct, and it's okay if you don't feel safe not to return your shopping cart." So she's really into, protection and all that, which is fine. But in the case where she goes alone, this would probably be a little different. But I could see though, right? Like, you're not locking your car, to have your kids in there. But for me, I always return mine because I never go with anybody. It's always just me. And usually, I'm aware of my surroundings, but enough to like lock a car. I'm not going to be in a situation where I have so many groceries or whatever. But Chris, I wondered what you would do, in situations like this. Are you one of those people that just leave the cart on the curb and don't bring it to the shopping cart corral, I think they call it? And then with kids, would it be different? Like she said, if you got kids, you're putting the cart wherever you can close by, just in case something happens. It's more of a surrounding thing. So what would you do in her situation? I know, are you one of those people who don't put the cart back?
I do put the cart back sometimes, but it also just depends on mainly the weather. If it's really hot, it's like I don't know why whatever distance it is to put it back. I'll just put it where like if there's a handicap spot or something close by where it's close enough where I can just leave it and it's okay, then I'll put it there. But it just depends on I guess weather.
Yeah, Dragon Viper. This is I guess a touchy subject. You can talk about surroundings and all that, but the one thing I want to know from you: are you one of those people who don't return the cards to the crew?
Yeah, I'm getting called out here. Um, job security. Um, but I mean, it does depend on the situation. I mean, if you've got kids and you know, and you don't want to have to take the kids back with the cart and then take the kids back to the car. I mean, I kind of get it. But on the other hand, I take, for my job, I take a client shopping. One thing I do is I make sure that when he unloads his groceries in the car, I make sure he puts it into the cart return. I mean, even if it's, a little bit of a walk, I still make sure he does it so that, it's a courtesy thing on on one side. On the other side, again, job security, they get paid to round up the carts. They get paid to, take the carts back where they belong. Um, some of these people around here want more money to work at these stores, but yet they want to do less. So, you leave a cart out once or twice, every once in a while. They earn what they do. So, but it depends on the situation, depends on my mood, and depends on, if I have kids with me, and so it all depends. It's I'm on the fence on that one.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you're alone, it doesn't matter. But just I guess you'd be a deal hole. I guess if you didn't bring it back because you could leave it somewhere and another car can run into it, or like we seen I think in Texas. Excuse me, somewhere in the wind where the wind gets a hold of the carts in the empty shopping area parking lot. The wind just blows the carts and hits other cars. Now that was a crazy video.
Well, see, here's the thing though, is if I do end up leaving the carts, I make sure if there's like a parking curb or something, I put it to where it can't move or it can't get hit by another car. I maybe a little bit. What'd you say, a dill hole? But
dude, I had to clean it up because I was gonna say something else.
But on the other hand, I do make it to where the carts don't get moved by the wind or somebody doesn't pull in and hit it. So I mean, it just depends. But I make sure that nothing happens to anybody's vehicles or anything when I do that.
Yeah, we'll see how that all ends up, and maybe she'll have her 15 minutes of viral fame and leave. But for me, I always return it because I was once a courtesy clerk at a Ralph's, and I would have to go far distances to retrieve shopping carts.
Well, I was a courtesy clerk at Safeway, and I had to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I kind of remember that also, like, yeah, but sometimes I'll put the cart like on the curb and just go. Sometimes I do that too, if it's so far away or whatever. Guess it just depends. So there's been another viral issue or question, I should say. Well, it's kind of an issue. This bear versus man debate. Women respond after being asked which they would rather run into in the woods, a bear or a man. What? So
bear.
there's a run an insanely.
Wait. Are we talking Bear Grylls or a bear? Like a bear?
What?
A bear, like an actual big bear.
Okay.
So random women are asked if they were alone in the woods, would they rather encounter a bear or a man? While at first this question seems silly and obvious, the answers might shock you, and they're causing this debate. And here's how they answered, though. 1 out of the 7 women voted that they'd rather encounter a man. Good. But the other part, of this debate has opened up a huge and critical discussion about women's safety and why women fear men more than a potentially deadly animal. Go ahead. So comments have been going all over the world, and there's one person that said, "I know a bear's intention. I don't know a man's intentions, no matter how nice they are." So it's about that. Um, you know, the bear's not gonna, take it easy on you, but they say, maybe a man will surprise you and try to do something to you. And they say also, if a bear attacks me, a woman said, I'll make it out of the woods. Everybody's going to believe me and have sympathy for me. But if a man attacks me and I make it out, I'm going to try to spend my whole life trying to make people believe me and have sympathy for me. Many men, like I, have been flabbergasted and got defensive, because of just the way, like, hey, would you want a man protecting you from a bear, or do you want a bear to claw you to death? It's really as simple as that. I think this is what Generation Z or whatever it's called, Y or X. I don't know what the hell it's called. Never being in the woods in the first place, and never being in a situation like this because they're on their phones in a house or apartment or studio or whatever. They're not going to be out in the woods with this situation.
Go play Naked and Afraid alone, something like that. You'll get a taste of reality.
Hell yeah. The bottom line here is that women are terrified of men, and that's not up for debate. However, that's how they feel about men. The question has nothing to do with the bear and everything how they feel about women, and it's just unfortunate. So guys, I'm just turned off by, I guess, women in this generation that this is even a question. I just wonder what you think about this. I'll go with Dragon Viper first since he's close by the woods. Let's say you were a woman. Would you rather encounter a bear or a man to help you get through it, to help you get through the woods? And by the way, you can have all the bear mace you want or regular human maze, whatever the hell you want. But put yourself in a women's situation right here, but with critical thinking.
I really don't have to critically think. I already know the answer to this. It would be the bear, because it's easier to scare a bear off than it is to scare a guy off. And I mean, people may disagree, but this is my opinion. And you don't know the guy's intentions, but you know the bear's. The bear is there to, scare you off or claw you or whatever. The guy's intentions, you have no idea. So, I would choose the bear, honestly. And like I said, most of the time you can scare a bear off. You can't with a guy out in the woods like that.
I don't know. Just because it's this generation talking like that, it's like, no, I want the women to get declawed just to see how it feels. But it's just the crazy part about that. Sarah Jacqueline Hutchison mentions a bear. Yeah, you just never know. Again, like you mentioned, Dragon Viper.
Even my
never
mom
know.
saying a bear.
Yeah, a bear.
My friend said a bear. My mom said a bear.
You never know. A bear is more likely won't hurt you. What is it if you act like you're big or whatever, it'll go away or something like that? Is that how it goes, Dragon Viper? I can't remember.
What was that?
To scare a bear away, you act like you're big and put your hands in the air or something like that. I kind of want to try that one day.
Some of them. The others, you have to play dead.
That's it too.
Or punch him in the nose.
What is this, Winnie the Pooh?
Well, Chris, how would you go about the situation if you're a woman and you're stuck in the woods? Would you rather encounter a bear that might kill you, or a man who might do something else and kill you?
I give him a picnic basket. No, it's fine. No, I would.
What is this, Yogi
I'd
Bear?
I'd definitely, take the bear over, in this situation. You know what the bear is going to do if you don't get away from the situation. And I think in this instance, you probably have a better chance.
I don't know. It's the people that's having these responses that are really, I think, annoying me in a way where it's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
if a bear. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not the conversation itself. It's
I know
I think the way it's brought up, like the tone of it, the direction it's
the way it's
heading.
answered.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. It's like if you had mace, you could just mace the man or kick him in the nuts or something like that, and you'll be good. Anyway, that's our viral debates, and viral, of course, means younger people and the crazy things they say. Let's go to another
Moving on.
segment. Yeah, another segment
Yeah.
here. It's called 10 or Less Ranked, and for me, I picked some favorite music artists and their songs, if you have 10 or less. And today's is Madonna, and I hope everybody knows who Madonna is. I'll go with my 10. It's in no particular order. Hung Up, Material Girl, Frozen, 4 Minutes, Vogue, Like a Prayer, Like a Virgin, Live to Tell, This Used to Be Our Playground, Papa Don't Preach, Holiday, Into the Groove, Open Your Heart, Ray of Light, Dress You Up, Music, Borderline. I think that's Lucky Star. That's the ones I really, really love. And there's probably other ones I've never heard. Like I said, I got to go off the rail for those. But she's one of my favorite artists, definitely of all time. Crispy Bacon, I'll start with you. What is your favorite Madonna songs?
So in no particular order, Material Girl, Papa Don't Preach, Like a Virgin, Vogue, and Like a Prayer. Those are my top 5.
Okay, Dragon Viper, how about you?
All right, and I'm gonna say, and like you guys, no particular order. Like a Prayer, Crazy for You, Live to Tell, Music, Borderline, Take a Bow, Nothing Really Matters, Ray of Light, Beautiful Stranger, Open Your Heart, and then my, honorable mentions, Holiday, Papa Don't Preach, and Justify My Love.
Yeah, you can't go with any of the ones we mentioned wrongly. There are so many good ones out there. All right, the next one here, it's really hard to pick 10, but I think I have them, and it's 90s horror movies, and there are so many great choices. And you can either go like funny ones, you can go serious ones, and the real scary ones. My list, I have the Blair Witch Project, I have Scream, Silence of the Lambs, I have It, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
You did?
Idea.
So I Married an Axe Murderer with Mike Myers. For some reason, I really like that movie. The Sixth Sense. I see dead people. The Bride of Chucky. There was one. I forgot how many I have left, but there's some more. Oh God, it was. No, I don't like that. Return of the Vampire. That was the other one. Throw in Scream 2, I guess, with that one. And then one more I'll give would probably be, I need a good one. I've never seen the first Buffy, but I heard it was good. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. It was Ernest Scared Stupid, and I gotta give a shout out to my mom because we would be watching all the Ernest movies, and that was one of them that came up. I've never seen Hocus Pocus. I did love Casper. I know that's like a funny, scary movie in a way, but I love Casper. The Addams Family, I think I've seen one, and I've never seen Nightmare Before Christmas, but I heard that was great too. So that's my top 10 list of the 90 horror movies. I'll go with you, Dragon Viper, first.
I before I start, I'm gonna say this. I went through these 90s movies or 90s horror movies, and I have to say I didn't even realize it until now, because we've done this before with horror 90s movies, and I didn't even think about it till just now, that this list was hard, and it wasn't hard because of the fact that there were so many to choose from that I've watched. It's because of the fact that the 80s and the 2000s have better horror movies than the 90s, and I thought I'd never say that. So the movies I picked, yeah, it was kind of easy to choose from, only because the 90s weren't as good as the 80s or 2000s, which is sad because the 90s was the best decade. But anyway, I had to throw that out there. But I do have Misery, Scream 2, Cape Fear, Child's Play 3. I had to throw in Ernest Scared Stupid because, Jim Varney was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Candyman, Thinner, Psycho, Urban Legends, Bride of Chucky, Scream, Silence of the Lambs, and The Stand.
Wow, those are good ones. Some I've never seen and some I've heard of. Yeah, I kind of agree with you about, you mentioned the 80s and 2000s having better scary movies. It seemed like the 90s it was more about like, I don't know, like people screaming a little less, and it was more about trying to act in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what it seemed like with the 90s horror movies compared to the other ones. All right, Chris, what's yours?
Yep. So we're gonna go 10 through 1. So 10 will be you. I probably messed that up. Let's see. You got Misery, the Blair Witch Project, Candyman, Jacob's Ladder, Sixth Sense, Silence of the Lamb, and Scream. That's basically my list. I guess not.
Those are good movies there, and ones I might watch again depending on what mood I'm in. All right, so we'll get to the next one, and this one I really had to think about because he was in the news lately, and people were mentioning about how Tom Cruise still looks pretty much the same, and he's, 60 something?
Plastic surgery works.
Yeah.
Some.
It does, definitely. So our top 10 favorite Tom Cruise movies, I'll start. I finally saw, Top Gun Maverick and Top Gun. So 1 and 2, I would say that one. Let's see. Excuse me. Tropic Thunder. I really liked him in that. Let's see. Not The Last Samurai, even though he's in that right there. No way. Jerry Maguire is probably my favorite Tom Cruise movie. Days of Thunder, Few Good Men, Rain Man. I didn't know he was in Young Guns, but I'll say that, I guess. Color of Money. I like him in that. Risky Business, The Outsiders. And then one I really love is, what do you call it? Cocktail. I really like him in that. And That was one I didn't see, and I finally saw. I guess honorable mention would be All the Right Moves, that football movie. What's yours, Chris?
So 10 would be Born on the 4th of July. 9 would be The Last Samurai. No, I had to put it in there. Edge of Tomorrow, number 8.
Yeah.
7 would be Collar Tail, or I don't know. COL.
Collateral?
Yeah, Collateral.
Yeah. 10, Minority Report.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, I
Minority
forgot about
Report.
that.
5 would be A Few Good Men. 4 would be Mission Impossible.
Oh, I think I've
Mhm.
only seen the first one.
3 would be Jerry Maguire. 2 would be Rain Man. And number 1, you could put 2 in there as well, but Top Gun.
Yeah, definitely. Next one is something I really love, and I try to avoid these actors as much as possible. And it's our top 10 annoying actors of all time. And I have a pretty good list. It starts with Pauly Shore. I cannot stand whatever he was doing back then. He was so damn annoying. The second one, and he literally plays the same type of character in every movie, just like Pauly Shore in a way, but Nicolas Cage. I know I might get some flack for that, but I just did not enjoy like his mannerisms. It all just seemed, the same. Michael Cera would be another one, and he hasn't done anything in a while. I think because he lost his boyish looks, and we're all thankful for that. Number 4, I think, would be Ben Affleck. I just don't find him funny or anything. Number 5, and I said this, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but all of the cast from Friends, I just don't like any of
How
them.
dare you?
Let's see. Number 6, I'll say Brie Larson. I just find her revolting. I just didn't like her in some films. There's a lot of them I didn't like at all. Number 7 would be Kevin Hart. It just seems like he's again, it's the same acting all the damn time, and it's just
call that method acting.
it's annoying acting. I just never liked it at all. Let's see. Number 8 would be Pete Davidson. I hate anything he's in. He's
Even Taco Bell.
He's annoying. I cannot stand him at all. There's no way, dude. Number 9 would be Kristen Stewart. I used to like her, and no, I don't. I find her annoying too. Number 10, I'd probably say. No, I don't think she's an actress, or they're actresses. I wouldn't say that. I'll just say this one. Oh, Seth Rogen. That was. I just find him annoying too.
Really?
I know he smokes a lot and all that, but I've always found his voice so damn annoying. I just cannot stand him at all.
Is he in a Reese's peanut butter?
No, that's
Okay.
Is that Will Forte or Will?
I'm like, that's so much like him.
It's Will Forte. No, not Will Forte, but the other Will, who was married to Amy Poehler. I can't remember the name right now.
Will Arnett?
Yes, Will Arnett. I like him. He's actually funny. There's a honorary list that I never want to see these people in. We'll do actresses next week. So there's I mean I did one, I guess, so that's fine. But we'll do a whole actress list. But yeah, for some reason Seth, it's awful. Let's start with Dragon Viper on this. What's your most annoying actors of all time?
You skipped me about the Tom Cruise movies. I
didn't really. I didn't.
I was gonna say that I have the shortest list in history because the Tom Cruise movies was none. I can't stand Tom Cruise.
So he's one of those annoying actors.
Yes, which leads into this category.
Dang. Thank you.
So, yes, Tom Cruise is one of them. Then I'm going to go with Will Ferrell.
Ooh. Up and down. My dad hates him, yeah.
Owen Wilson.
Yes. Oh, no, I forgot about it. Wow. I forgot about him.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I don't like Vin. Yeah.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
And I know you said actors, but I did throw a couple actresses in there also.
Yeah.
Paris Hilton.
That's hot.
Oh, jeez. Listen to this. Paris Hilton 2.0 over here.
I wish. I want that money.
And then I said this earlier, and I'm saying it now. Pierce Brosnan. Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, the whole yeah. And she looks like a horse too. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Yeah,
Pauly Shore.
definitely.
Zac Efron.
Yeah, I never really watched anything he's done, but I can see it.
The only thing I've seen of him is 17 again. That was it. Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
And the very last one, I have to throw it in here. Pat McAfee.
Has he done any acting?
No. I
Can
knew
you
that
count
was it,
that?
Chris. I knew it.
I can tell your honorable mentions.
My last honorable mention, Dominic Mysterio.
No, one would be LeBron James. For your
No,
honorable
we're
mention.
talking sports here. Maybe because he is an actor.
I know
Yeah.
he was in one.
Space Jam 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
duh. I've never seen that. No, there was that one I liked with Amy Schumer, Brie Larson, and who's that SNL dude with all the voices? Bill Hader.
Yeah.
It was called Trainwreck. I love that movie. I have that movie, and I still haven't watched it since I bought it. But I just found Brie Larson like a villain in that movie, and I've never let her off ever since. But yeah, I definitely like your topic because there was a lot of them I forgot about. I don't ever want to hear again. Chris, how about your list?
My list is kind of I wouldn't say all over the board, but it's a mixture of actors and actresses. And some of them I disagree with, but in a way, but I know a lot of people like them. Adam Sandler.
Yeah, up and down, sure.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What? No.
I mean, some people can get like sick
It
of like
depends on the movie. Depends on the movie.
the fighting or the violence, and then the one movie that really threw me off again was Funny People. How it was like a serious drama. That was weird with Adam Sandler.
Tom Green.
Oh yeah. I've never seen Road Trip, but I've seen his show back in the day, and that was just weird. He would do weird stuff.
Pauly Shore.
Definitely. Oh hey, cowabunga, dudes. I just all that crap. Ugh.
Shia LaBeouf.
I only liked him in that Even Stevens show back in the day. I've never seen him in anything else.
I call him Shia LaBeouf. Sorry.
Do it.
Kristen Stewart.
Thank you.
Now this one, kind of like Adam Sandler, is kind of up and down. James Corden.
I used to love him. Then I heard he treats people like crap, so that English accent just turned to stone for me.
Jared Leto.
I like him in 30 Seconds from Mars, and then he played a good person in the House of Gucci. But I could see why people hate him. My sister-in-law hates him.
He was also the Joker in Suicide Squad.
I still haven't seen that.
Me either.
That's a good role though for him.
Anne Hathaway.
She's beautiful, but I can see why she might be a little annoying.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah. When you play those weird roles where you're a woman,
Really?
making copies. Yeah, I can see
Really?
why.
And number 10, Lena Dunham, whatever.
She's an English actress. Some people didn't like her flamboyancy. People didn't like her how she was overweight, but I didn't mind her. She was cool to me. I can feel the same way about what's her name? She's just like her, but she's blonde. She just married a woman. She was in Pitch Perfect, the fat lady in that. Oh, I forgot her name. But she's just like that, but a little lower on the totem pole. Oh, I forgot her name. Anyway.
Bird Dragon Viper.
I'll take her, yeah. The Rock. Calvin mentions
Thanks,
the wrestlers. Yeah, the movies when The Rock and Kevin Hart get together, they're just annoying as hell. They must have done like 2 or 3, and it was all the same premise, all the same jokes. I don't know. You just get sick of that, or whatever.
Yeah.
I might have a low tolerance.
Calvin put his top in.
I'm trying to remember what Tom Cruise was in Young Guns, but Callan mentions Top Gun, Top Gun Maverick, Mission Impossible, War Words, Day of Thunder, Young Guns, Losing It, Eyes Wide Shut. I forgot about that one too, and Magnolia. I've seen it, but a long time ago.
Tom Cruise was a henchman on Young Guns.
Oh, really? Thank you. I gotta watch that again. Color of Money for number 10. Callan has mentioned for Tom Cruise. So we'll end it on this topic here as one we've really wanted to get into, but it is a throwback in a way, kind of, from like 6 or 7 years ago, some of them, and then one from 2020, which I'll mention. It is the worst viral challenges that were. One that happened in 2020 when everybody was bored and they didn't go out and, do other stuff. They were trying to complete a challenge in which you had a bunch of, stacked milk crates, and they were empty, of course, and turned upside down. And you basically, stacked them up to stairs, and you just try to run across them to get to the other side before they fell down. Well, people were going to the hospital when the hospitals were pretty full already. But they were going to hospitals because they broke their neck, or they broke their arms, they broke their legs, whatever the case was, wrists, noses, because they were trying to walk on milk crates, and I don't ever remember seeing anyone finish it. They got close sometimes, but it was just the stupidest thing where, like, once you grow up, you're like, I'm not doing that. That's just stupid. So, Chris, do you remember the milk crate craze and people trying to complete the courses? What did you think about those?
I do, and even then, I'm like, why would you do that? That's very stupid. More common sense than they did, but I'm sure afterwards when they went to the ER and they had that very expensive medical bill, they're like,
and
I'll do that again.
Yep. What about you, Dragon Viper? Did you go try this in 2020, walking and falling off milk crates?
I have more brains than that. And the thing, it takes me to, when the commercials were a little bit better too. And the phrase, what would you do for a Klondike bar? I think they decided to take that as a challenge and expand it. No, I did
marketing idea.
I did not see this challenge, and I think all these challenges that they're doing are stupid. They're dangerous, and it's just to be famous. But you could do things to be famous and not do things to hurt yourself or others or destroy property. I mean, Really? No, I have not seen that challenge, and I don't want to.
That was one of the craziest things. A few years before that, what was that, Chris?
I was gonna say there's more worse things than that.
Oh yeah, bungee jumping,
Yeah.
skydiving. I don't know,
Lighting yourself
anything
on
that deals with
fire.
heights. I don't like.
Lighting yourself on fire.
Oh my god,
That was the thing.
I forgot on all about that. So another one, and I literally used it today, was Tide Pods. Some generation ago, I think maybe 7-8 years ago, there were kids actually eating Tide Pods, and I'm thinking to myself, why? Like, to get high or something? I don't know what it was, but it was one of those viral challenges that led to kids dying, and it was just, like you guys mentioned, it was very stupid to do. And now you see, the bags changed where it has that, kids lock on it or whatever. It makes it,
God.
a bitch of a time trying to open up the bag because of these kids eating Tide Pods back in the day.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's it. So it kind of the one question though, we all think it's, stupid back then, but okay, when you use the Tide Pod, where does the plastic evaporate to? That's what I always wondered when you put it in your washer and then it just disappears. Where does the plastic go? I've always wondered that.
It dissolves in the wash.
Oh, okay. So Callan mentions the In My Feelings challenge, the Drake challenge, with people getting out of moving cars to dance. I do remember that. That was something, of course, I did not do. And I saw people do that on highways, freeways, streets, driveways, whatever the case was.
Remember the
And
train jumping?
The what?
The train jumping, where they were not jumping, but they were on top of the train, moving train.
I don't remember that. That sounds like a San Andreas
I
mission.
do.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just crazy. Yeah, Dragon Vibe. I'll start with you. What did you think about the Tide Pod craze that was?
What can I say that I didn't say about the other? I mean, what idiot decided to sit there one day and go, I think I'm going to eat a Tide Pod and see what happens.
What does it taste like?
Great! Now I have to go to the hospital because
Yeah.
I just damaged my insides. What? Why? I'm glad I was born in the 80s and didn't have to do this and try and be famous on top of it. No.
How about you, Chris? Were you eating Tide Pods back in the day?
No, I was not. I had more brain than that. Not to do that. I was born in the 90s, didn't do that, and thankfully I didn't do it.
So the last one that I had, and this one I knew about people actually as well dying and have collapsed lungs and ammonia, throat irritation, breathing difficulties, was the cinnamon challenge, where you literally get a spoonful of ground cinnamon and without drinking anything, under 60 seconds, and just keeping it, I think, in your tongue or putting it down your mouth. And I remember people putting the videos out and seeing people choke and all that, gag, vomit from, the raw cinnamon. And I was asked to do it one time from people, but I told myself, you know what, with my health issues, I am never going to do it. And I never did. But it peaked like from 2012 to 2014. By 2010, there were so many people doing it. I remember on YouTube and Twitter, of course. But it was serious damage to the lungs for some. It just clogs the airways. It was just stupid. I'll ask you, Chris, did you do that?
Did I? No, I did not do that. The only challenge I did, if you want to call it a challenge, was more for charity work, was the ice bucket challenge.
That's what I did. I remember that.
I did do that, but the crazed ones like cinnamon or something like that, no. No, I did not do.
So there's been some NBA players who've done it, and then on Big Brother UK in the 12th season of that, the challenge was aired, and some did it without water, and
Huh, I have to go back
it was
and watch that.
it was just ridiculous. How about you, Dragon Viper? Did you do this?
Again, I have brains. I have common sense. No, I didn't do it. I wasn't even. Nobody that I was around even thought about doing it because they're around my age. With common sense. Are they looking for a death sentence? I don't.
Yes.
I don't know. I really don't. But people are idiots these days, and it's getting worse and worse. And it's to the point where I see a thing where it says take warning labels off of things and let fate sort itself out. That's how I feel. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm at the point now where I don't feel bad for anybody who decides to want to do these challenges, and then they want people to feel bad because they're in the hospital or they're close to death or what their insides explode. I don't feel bad for them because it's common sense not to do this stuff, and they still do it. So no, I didn't. I had common sense then. I have common sense now, and it doesn't matter what challenge comes down the road. It doesn't matter what challenge happened. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, definitely. Callan did mention one that I think everyone at one point was a part of, and it was the mannequin challenge. That was one where you would wait for a song to get to a point, and then you would freeze, and then you would wait till the song gets to a high point, and then you just go crazy. And I remember doing that for, I think, one of my jobs back then. I'm guessing none of you did it.
I remember seeing it, but I never did.
How about you, Dragon Viper?
I've never heard of it.
Shake, but
I've never heard of it, so this is
But
new to me.
Yeah, it was called. It was like the Harlem Shake Mannequin Challenge. It was basically the same thing.
I mean, you and Callan talk about, or I don't know exactly you, but I know Callan was talking about he was part of that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a California thing? Because I've never heard of it up here in Oregon.
I'm guessing maybe the universities did it up there for a viral challenge.
Yeah,
that's all I could think of.
I've never heard of it.
It was hard for me being still. That was the worst part. Because I'm very active or very shaky or whatever. So, yeah. So we've had fun. We've went over the hour mark, and we went to an array of topics. I think that challenged us and made us think, and then made us hate again. Looking at you, Pauly Shore. Can't stand them. We'll get to final thoughts. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. On Deck Sunday, Between the Ropes Sunday. A lot to talk about on both shows regarding baseball and wrestling. So stay tuned to Coast to Coast.
Yes, Dragon Viper.
Thank you everybody for watching and commenting. We enjoyed the comments. And do not go out and do any challenges. I beg of you. I plead. Do not. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good night and a good weekend.
Life is a challenge. Okay. Just kidding. Yeah, that's true. All right. My final thoughts. Hey, good to be back on here. I know I came on late last week because of work, and I'm hoping to have Thursdays off so I can do this on the regular. Sunday will be a challenge, but hopefully I'll be home in time for On Deck. That's for all the baseball news and notes you'll love. And then, of course, Between the Ropes will be after that from everybody else here. We'll see you next time, and hopefully Chris will be back to end the show. I guess we'll stick here until then. Let me ask you, Dragon Viper, what's one musical act that you hate?
One musical act
that you would never want to see in concert. Could you find them so damn annoying?
That's a good question, because I like musical acts. I mean, I won't go to a theater and watch them, but I'd have to say I haven't even seen it, but I've seen previews of Cats.
Oh, the musical.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it, so I can't really judge about it, but I've seen previews from it, and I don't think I'd like it. So
you must not be a cat person.
I'm more of a dog person. So except I have a kitten, not here. It's at someone else's house, but I do have a kitten. But
cool.
I'm mostly a dog person.
I think for me, anyone in this generations of